know that the patent office many, many, many years ago stopped granting patents for perpetual motion machines? Yeah. They used to grant patents for perpetual motion machines.
Can't do this anymore.
Well, there were millions of them coming in, and they said, you know what, we need to stop this because it ain't going to work.
Never. And then that's basically what you're trying to do is a perpetual motion machine by putting a windmill. So this knucklehead that I knew
that was putting a windmill.
When I told him, I said, that's not going to work. He said, don't matter. They're going to fund it anyways.
That was the key. That was the whole point of this discussion. That he knew it wasn't going to work.
It doesn't matter.
We thought he was an idiot.
He said,
turns out he was a genius.
Well, because he said that the people at the office that are handing out money, they'll give you a check for it.
They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know. So it turns out he's a genius.
Right.
Because as long as you can get them to pay you, that's
the
See,
win.
I'm thinking, let's change the world. And I can look at that and say, that's not going to change the world. He's like, no. We're not changing the world. We're getting a grant.
Right. We're getting money.
And guess what? Was he successful?
No, he never followed through with anything. I always talk.
Oh, you're supposed to say, yep, $1 million.
$1 million.
No, Solyndra. It's $500 billion.
Oh.
$500 billion. How is that even possible? And do you know the carbon footprint that was created by making that factory?
Just despicable. They said they interviewed people who worked there.
Yeah.
And everybody working there said, yeah, it was amazing. Nobody did anything ever.
Why should they? Do you realize
they said they would go into work and they would play games.
Well, no wonder they went under.
There was no work ever, and there was no intention of work.
They knew it was all a big sham.
Well, it's windmills on the top of a car.
Hey,
it's the idea. Get the money. Get
the money.
So check this out. Okay, this $1 trillion bill extends money to wind and solar, reauthorizes a conservation fund for 3 years, and excluding any measures that block major administration environmental regulations. DACA is fully funded. It's funding of sanctuary cities, refugee, entranced assistance. Okay, we went through that.
The resettlement of illegal immigrants, border crossers, funds all
the Middle East. All the Middle East programs that have been exploited by terrorists in recent years, such as the F1 student visa, the K1 fiancé visa.
Oh, so they're going to try to get as many more San Bernardinos as possible.
And our green card and refugee program. Ryan's proposal does nothing to limit the administration from jihadist-prone regions. Nothing whatsoever. So you're good to go. Green light. Shields entire categories of criminal aliens from immigration law. Nor does it include language recommended by Jeff Sessions and Shelby, to deny the expenditure of funds to issue visas to countries that refuse repatriate criminal aliens. So basically what this says is that if you're illegal, you're a criminal, and you're here in America, your chance of deportation will very, very low, because the country that we would send you back to, they have laws that don't work with us, if you will. So because of the way this is written, you won't be sent back. You're good to go. It's okay. It's okay. Funds child tax credits even to illegal aliens.
Which, that right there is why they are dying. Literally dying to cross the border.
Why would they not? Why would they not? I'll tell you what. You want to stop
dead bodies in the desert because they risked it all. They risked it all.
Why would you not? Knowing that this government is going to give you money, why would you not risk life and limb to escape a third world country called Mexico?
And they want them to. They want them to do everything they can to get here so that they can have a vote for them.
Oh, absolutely. They're even talking about, Governor Jerry Brown out in California trying to get past a motor voter law or some sorts where illegal aliens, undocumented workers can get driver's licenses. They're pushing hard for that. You know why? In California, when you get a driver's license, you also sign up to vote.
So pretty much stealing elections.
Correct.
Because there's nowhere that I heard, regardless of whether or not you're allowed to drive, that you can vote if you're not a legal citizen of the United States.
Correct. This bill locks in. When you hear the government say locks in, that you might as well go to Sing Sing for the rest of your life. Locked in. Huge spending increases. The bill funds the Obama Boehner budget deal, which eliminated spending caps, which will increase both defense and non-defense spending next year by $25 billion more each. So each one gets $25 billion more dollars, so $50 billion more next year. That border fence that back in 2006 called the Secure Fence Act, that 700 miles of double fence, unfunded, completely gutted, no money for it.
Which is really, that's a shocker. Here, it was granted, we were granted money by the government, by Congress, to build a fence.
Voted on and signed.
It became an executive de facto action to not build it. Even though the money was there. The money was there to build it. It wasn't built because they just said, well, we're not going to start on that. But the money was there. All they had to do was say, all right, well, let's send some workers out there and start building it. The money was already there. You're saying that this new spending bill cuts that out.
Yes.
Paul Ryan is the devil. He is the enemy. He's not the enemy of the Republican Party, which he is.
Enemy of the state.
He's the enemy of conservatism, and he's the enemy of patriots. He's the enemy of America, and so he needs to be tried for treason along with Obama.
Absolutely. So, like we said before, lawmakers and public people like us, news media, anybody who wanted to see this, they had one business day to review 2,242 pages. The Ryan Pelosi package, and this is by Breitbart, represents nothing short of a complete and total betrayal of the American people. What may prove most discouraging of all to all Americans is that recent reports reveal that conservatives in the so-called House Freedom Caucus are praising Ryan even as he permanently locks in these irreversible anti-American immigration policies.
The Freedom Caucus? These were our only allies left in America.
No more.
So we have nobody. We're left alone now.
Okay, now this, according to Politico, the House Freedom Caucus will give Ryan a pass, even as he funds disastrous policies that prioritize and
so there's nobody.
The incentives of foreign nationals.
There's nobody left.
No. Not anymore.
The House Freedom Caucus, those were our only conservative, libertarian, Tea Party people left.
Right.
That's it. We're done.
Tax breaks on everything from race horses and film productions to NASCAR. Yeah, NASCAR's getting money out of this. Racetracks to college tuitions, teachers, out-of-pocket classroom expenses are all covered in this massive deal. Something that was that I had posted and I got into it. Now this might seem a little stick with me on this. Okay. The most recent available data published by the Department of Homeland Security shows that in 2013, 100,000 immigrants from Muslim-majority countries were permanently resettled within America on green cards, as well as approximately 40,000 refugees from Muslim countries. Additionally, according to the data in 2013, voluntarily admitted approximately 100,000 more temporary migrants from Muslim countries. Okay. On top of all those autopilot emissions, which will be funded, so there's like 250,000, will be funded throughout all of 2016, the House is also funding President Barack Hussein Obama's plan to add another 10,000 refugees from Muslim countries of Syria. As a result, Ryan's House-passed omnibus will bring in nearly $3 300,000 Muslim migrants in the next 12 months alone, including roughly 170,000 who will be permanently resettled within the country. That from Breitbart.
I'm confused.
You wonder why I'm packing a gun? You wonder why I'm packing a gun? You wonder why?
I'm confused. How do we get? Okay, so 10,000 comes from Syria.
Correct.
But it'll be, if you add all the other countries, it'll bring in 300,000 Muslim migrants in 12 months.
On top of the 118,000 migrants, 40,000 refugees, 123,000 temporary migrants. That's kind of the standard. They're standardly bringing in 200,000 a year. That's just kind of something they've been doing.
Wow.
Now they're adding an additional 10,000 refugees, 300,000 Muslim migrants over the next 12 months, including roughly 170,000 that will be permanently settled here.
Isn't it odd? 12 months. Interesting time frame there. That's exactly how much.
Is that not an amazing time frame?
Yeah, it's exactly how long that it can be completely unopposed before a new president can come in and save us. It's like we have to make sure that America is completely destroyed before somebody could possibly come in and save it.
Also included is a permanent extension of the research and development tax credit, Obamacare funded, and 2-year delay on the Cadillac tax. Remember hearing about the Cadillac tax?
I don't remember. Refresh.
Well, there was a Cadillac tax that was kicked in at the very end of the Obamacare. That's for people who want top-notch service.
Okay.
I.e., union workers.
Oh, of course.
So they stuck them with a Cadillac tax.
Okay.
Meaning
you pay more.
Oh, yeah, and the unions were outraged, fit to be tied, and they were screaming about hating Obamacare now.
Okay.
Well, that Cadillac tax was supposed to kick in 2016.
Okay.
This bill delays that for 2 more years.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Two more years, you don't need to pay no Cadillac tax.
Well, I think that they need to completely
that was for the unions.
Obamacare altogether.
Well, correct, but he had to help the unions out somehow.
Wow.
So a couple of quotes. This one from Donald Trump, because he came out right away. I know Rush was saying, Trump, come on, you need to come out and say something about this.
Okay.
Well, there's no question about it. Trump took to Twitter. Trump took to the news. He said, quote, they threw in the towel to avoid a government shutdown. If anyone needs more evidence of why the American people are suffering at the hands of their own government, look no further than the budget deal announced by Speaker Ryan, Trump said to ABC News. In order to avoid a government shutdown, a cowardly threat from an incompetent president, the elected Republicans in Congress threw in the towel and showed absolutely no budget discipline.
It's amazing.
So now it goes to the Senate. Lindsey Graham, the Senate, yeah, they're going to do it. Senate's good to go. Don't you worry about us.
The Senate wouldn't be the hard part. It's the House. But you're saying the House Freedom Caucus is just like, we'll give them a pass on this.
Right. Rush Limbaugh came out and said, the country was just sold down the river again by your very own Republican Party. I have a headline here from the Washington Times. This is Rush talking about this. Quote, this is from the Washington Times. Quote, White House declares total victory over GOP in budget battle. This is Rush again. The headline's a misnomer. There was never a battle. None of this was opposed. The Republican Party didn't stand up to any of it. And the die has been cast for a long time on this. I know many of you are dispirited, depressed, angry, combination of all that. But folks, there was no other way this could go. Because 2 years ago, when the Republican Party declared they would never do anything that would shut down the government and they would never impeach Obama, there were no obstacles in Obama's way, and there are no obstacles in the way of the Democrat Party.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I mean, this is it of the it. Now, I mean, I had to come home to my wife 3 days in a row and apologize to her for the night before for being